what we're going to do tonight, Jack, is talk about 5 girls that we've probably not seen a lot of. Few of them we know about. Hey guys, in the chat, get in the chat, guys. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us what you want to hear about. So basically, 5 players that we've not really seen a lot of. A few of them we have, but there's a few players, new players that we haven't seen. But I want to start on the shirt, the girl that's on the back of this shirt. I'm not going to take it off and show you the back, but Jess Sigsworth. And we know she's been out injured start of the season. Hey, John Fry. We know she's been out injured. What's your thoughts on Jess? And how do you think she can make an impact this season, essentially?
Well, I think we've seen, to begin with at least, we've seen a bit more from Casey in terms of her now that we do have a big squad can use, or she can use properly. I think she has experimented a bit more. We've seen, at least at the beginning of the season. So I would hope that that lends itself to players in general, and obviously also to Jess. I think Jess, she's one of those that first season or two, you would say she's an automatic starter. Obviously now, with the array of talent in the team, that's not necessarily so. So she really has to make her chances count. For me, she's a die player. She gives it her all. I think that maybe because she's a diehard player, so sometimes Casey played her right wing, which isn't necessarily her position. Yeah. She's more a number 9. And, I'd like to think that, it's a difficult one. The Liverpool result has made it hard on us because we still want to make it out of the group, because Conti Cup, realistically, along with the FA Cup, is a good chance for silverware. I mean, even though, hopefully we can push on in the league, I don't know, if we're there yet in terms of let's go for the title, although I'd love to think that we...
I think we are. John saying Jess will be an impact sub. And I know you brought up, for me, the Everton game, the cup games. I think that's where we'll see someone like Jess. Definitely, since she's not played really a lot. And I think she'll have a big impact at Everton. I think, coming back, this will be her first game, hopefully. I think another players will get the first minutes here as well. But I mean, let's sort of talk. I think with the Everton, I think you'll see her potentially, like you said, she's been on the right. I don't think she's a right winger. I think she needs to be down the middle. But she'll work hard wherever she is. So if she does play for Everton, can you see her having making a big difference in it, coming on, showing? Obviously no one's saying, she's going to play potentially over Russo or Press or etc. But showing why potentially maybe she might stay next season over, say, like a Jane or someone like that.
Oh, well, for me, she still has a place in the squad for sure. Point maybe as an impact sub. She's one of those, like I said, that she'll run, run a socks for the team no matter what. And I think we do need those players in the squad, for as long as they can keep going. Against Everton, again, it's a tricky one because that is a game that I would suggest in, for sure. With that said, because we lost the Liverpool game, we really need to make sure that we get the win there, and obviously we need to beat City as well to have kind of chance of progressing. So I think, I would start her, but I'd probably start still a relatively strong team behind her. So maybe is Lauren fit yet, or is she still on the men kind of thing too?
Yeah, she's fit now. Lauren James. That's who I'm going to move on to. Lauren James, we've not seen her. Saw her for about 20 minutes in the Chelsea game. And yes, she's back. She made it known on Twitter to everyone, I'm back. Big fanfare. And she's another one who I can see starting the Everton game. Mike, MB Michael, we need to keep this form. Do you think we can do that? And I think we can, definitely. But Jack, what do you think? Do you think
I'm
we'll
thinking
carry this winning form going on to the next few games?
I hope so. And why not to start maybe Jess up top, Lauren behind her, maybe Kirsty on the right, Lee on the left, something like that potentially. You know, and maybe have Tobin, Press, and Russo on the bench just in case against Everton. I mean, we've no disrespect to Everton. I know that they've improved and added more players in, but they're a team that managed to beat on a consistent basis even when we were in the Championship. So, you know, hopefully the team that was in the Championship, which was Kirsty Hansen, Leah, you know, Jess, Lauren. I'm not saying they're Championship players. They're obviously not. But hopefully they can do the business and allow us to maybe rest a few players ahead of the Arsenal game, which is obviously huge.
Yeah. And John Fry's just saying LJ might pay 10 against Everton, and I'd rather see that. I'd rather see LJ 10 making the moves in and around. That's where I think she's best. And then Jess number 9. And I think we, you know, basically, I think we've got a squad now. We need to use it. I think potentially another player who we might see, who we've not seen a lot of, is Lotta. I think she'll play left back. For me, Jack, I think the priority has to be Arsenal always. The league is most important, and I'd put it. I'd give all these players coming back minutes. So Honor's coming back, give her minutes in Everton game definitely. Lotta's not had a lot of minutes, so potentially play. You know, Lotta left back, Honor right back, and the two defenders.
There's a part of me that thinks,
Michael, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, go and watch on a battle. She's exactly the same. I think she's been more attacking up and down, and I think you'll see that a lot because I think she's coming back to fitness, and definitely for our girls, she's like that player that we need, and I think we've missed. What do you think of Honor, Jack?
I know it's still early days with Honor because she's played she played the Chelsea game and she played the Birmingham game, and for me, she really looked like something else that we were missing in defence. You know, capable on the ball and still good in defence. So, you know, there's a part of me that thinks maybe I wouldn't start her against Everton just so we're not risking her. Maybe bring her off the bench just to give her a few minutes, you know, as long as the game goes well, and hopefully start her against Arsenal. There's a part of me that, again, speaking about players that haven't played that much, then maybe go with Lotta on the left, maybe go with Martha on the right. I'm not sure if Martha's yet.
You know, I think Martha has got a long-term knee injury, so I don't think we're going to see Martha for a while. Yeah. But do you see, potentially, if she does come back, do you see her having a big impact, Martha Harris? Do you think we missed her?
I think, you know, she gives her all. She always gives her all. She's, again, diehard, tries her best. I think that Honor is potentially, again, it's 2 games in. You don't want to say, oh, yeah, she's best in the world and all that kind of thing. But I think Honor has the potential to be at a different level to any of the defenders that we currently have in the team. But Martha, she can have an impact again as a squad player. It is a squad game. Casey says it as well. It's not about the 11. It's about whoever's in the squad as well. Whether I'm not sure how big our squad is at the moment, but whether it's 22 or 23 players that are in the squad, everybody has the chance, will have the chance to make an impact. In terms of Lotta, she played the West Ham game. I think for her, she did better probably than some games that I've seen her in. I think, though, that she's still a bit off, whether that's rust, whether she's still acclimatizing. John saying, needs game time and might see a confident Lotta. I think she deserves a chance, obviously, but at the same time, the times that I've seen her, I don't know. It feels like there's still something missing there, that she's a bit lacking in pace, a bit lacking in physicality. I'm hoping that she builds up over time, and hopefully the more she plays, the better she gets. But we'll see in regards to that one. I do agree in regards to Honor at left back.
In terms of Jack, I think potentially we're going to see definitely the future is going to be that Honor right back. It depends whether we want to see Lotta full time, whether she stays. Like you say, I'm sort of with you. I'm 50-50. I think the time is now for her. I thought she did really well. Best I've seen her. The West Ham game, dead. I know he said she wasn't as strong, but I thought she was really aggressive. The one thing that I thought was missing from a game was the getting forward as much. And whether it's the nervousness, thinking, I want to defend them at the left back, I need to be focusing on defence. Maybe because we know she can make a lot of assists. In her last club, she had about 20 odd assists. Going forward, when I've seen her for Sweden, she gets the ball in the box. I've seen her. I think it was even taking corners. She gets the ball in the box. She's really good at attacking going forward. So for me, if she builds her confidence up, definitely, and if we see the best player that she can be, I can see that being in the future. But I think for me, I know you said about Honor, let's see, but for me, she's cemented herself there. John Fry saying, not sure where Martha fits in. I think Honor is clearly one of our best defenders. I think Millie's not started as well this season, and I would have had her up there. But for me, Honor is a different level, different class. I think she's done it. She's doing it now for Spain. She did it in the Spanish league, got Levante up to third. I don't think that was Champions League for them, but she's played against Barcelona, against Atletico Madrid. She's shown that she can do it in the top league. So this is why she's come to us now. And we've put all our effort into her. Paris Saint-Germain wanted her to, Barcelona wanted her to, but she's come to Man United. And I think it shows our ambitions and her ambitions of where she wants to be.
I agree with you about. I agree with you about on. It's just that kind of thing that you want to kind of like temper your expectations a bit. You don't want to put too much pressure on it. I mean, I know that sometimes. I think sometimes you look at players and you think, oh yeah, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and then maybe a few games later they kind of fade. We've seen it with the men's team. Sometimes like a player will start on fire. Like I have to go to like an example of Di Maria, where first 5 games was like, oh wow, it's different class, and then just faded. I'm not saying Honor's like that at all. I don't think she is, but I'm kind of like, slowly. She's only played 2 games. Let's see how it goes. But I'm with you. I do trust her, and I do think that she is something special. And I hope that Lotta gets to that level as well.
Yeah, I want to go back to her. We sort of briefly talked about her, but LJ, last year she was our shining light. Everything was on through LJ. If we were going to get a goal, it was all about Lauren James. She's can be whatever she wants in women's football. I think she can win the Ballon d'Or. I think she'll win big things with us. She's been with us from the start, one of the OG 21, original 21 players. And obviously she got injured, whatever's happened, she's been out, but she's back now. Like I said, I can see her definitely starting for Everton, or even getting off the bench, getting 45 minutes, getting 50, 60 minutes. But where do you see her now fitting in? Because obviously we've got Russo, we've got Press, we've got Tobin Heath, Tooney's doing really well in 10. So I know John Fry said, can see LJ playing 10, and that's where I'd actually love to see her playing. But Tooney's doing really well. Even if you said a bit deeper in the midfield, I think Jackie's doing really well as well. And then obviously for me, I don't think she's a winger. I don't think she's a right winger. I don't think she's a left winger. I think you waste her when you play her out there. You've got to have her definitely central. But who do you think, if say we get back up and she gets back fit and everyone's fit and firing, where do you see? And this is a massive thing for United. We only saw balls through LJ last year, and now we're thinking, where does LJ fit in? Is she just going to come off the bench? What do you think? John Fry here. Thanks for getting in the chat, John. 5 years, talks about like women's players, carries on developing 100%. And I think if you look at her socials, just everyone buzzes off LJ because she's, even if they don't watch the women's team, they just buzz off LJ because she's that good. She's an absolute quality player. Skills that she has, it's amazing to see. So, Jack, where do you see LJ fitting in eventually? I mean, it's going to be tough for Casey, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's probably the problem that she would want to have. In regards to LJ, let's just say that she's 19. The fact that she was one of our main focal points in the team at last year, 18 years of age, sorry. That's probably not where she should be. That was down to us maybe not having the right mix in the squad at the time. Now I think we have a better mix in the squad. So, there were times, yes, there were times over the last couple of seasons when she's been our shining light. There have also been a few games when you look at her and you think she looks a bit tired. She's not maybe as impactful as she can be. Maybe decision making is sometimes a bit off at times. I'm not saying always, but it did happen. And now with the level of squad that we have, especially going forward, I think that a lot of pressure will come off her to be that only shining light, and at the same time she'll have to work harder in order to get into the team. I see her at 10 as well. I think Tooney has started the season at 10. She's taken her opportunity and she's been pretty much since the beginning of the season a starter. I would love to see Lauren, if she plays well, I would like that her and Tooney can rotate in that position, and potentially you could see Lauren more in that position, and maybe Tooney can sit on the bench for a bit. But I think it's about the squad. The Tobin and Kristen aren't going to be playing every game. Russo ain't going to be playing every game. You could see LJ play potentially as a 9 or a false 9 as well in that position. So I think it's a healthier squad now. So we're not only relying on her. The fact that we were relying on her amongst 1-2 other players like Leah. I mean, see, that's the thing also with the player like Leah. She was one of our best players of the last 2 seasons, and I think objectively she's not started the season that well, even though she got 2 assists last game. She scored a goal against Chelsea. But objectively, she's not started the season as good as we're used to seeing her. And that's okay, because if she doesn't perform to the level, or if she needs a bit of rest because she's not feeling up to it, and she needs a bit more time just training and getting back to her best, then it's fine. We've got Press, we've got Heath, we've got Russo, we've got Hansen, Tooney, Lauren. It's fine. And of course, not talk about Jess, etc., that could potentially fill in similar positions as well. Yeah. So again, the squad is a lot healthier at the moment, and that's a good thing. It's fine that players don't play every game. It's fine. You don't expect that. Same 11 every game, players get tired, will be finished by mid-season. You know, we want to go the whole way. I mean, you're talking about the title, so you need to go the whole way, and you need all your players to win that.
Definitely. And we've got a question here. Michael, he's saying, we play Man City 14th November. What do we expect, as the girls lost from them last time? And I think for me, the last game, I don't like to say, you know, we was robbed and all this, but if you look back at that game, the ball crossed the line, it would have made it 2-2. The momentum was in our hands. We lost our heads, I think, and then they scored to make it 3-1, and then we came back and it was 3-2. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that 3-3, push it into injury time because it was in the cup, it was in the FA Cup. But I think if you look at our start to the season and you look at Man City's start, yes, they've got good players. They've got our ex-captain, which a lot of people aren't happy about, Alex Greenwood. They've got Lucy Bronze, supposedly the best right back in the world. They've obviously got 2 USA players, but John said it here. They're struggling. Current form, you'd go for us over them. Our players are settled in quickly, which is great to see. They're really, you know, gelling in, bedding in. I think Tobin looks absolutely like the player, like that. You know, bang, she's a World Cup winner. And I know people are saying Sam Mewis looks good as well for them, but Tobin is just starting, and I think that goal, the way she just hit it, Jack, oh, it was amazing. It was just a rocket in the top corner, and if we can get more of that from Tobin, none of their players will be ready. No, not, and she'll be against Alex Greenwood if Alex Greenwood even plays. I mean, they're playing Alex Greenwood in centre back. That's how the bad play they're struggling to try and mix it up. For me, I think it's a United. I think what's going to hinder us in a way, Jack, and I mean, you can add in this point, is not having fans there. For me, I think when we played Liverpool, it really affected us. I mean, it's not something that you want to see from any United team, but I think mentally they were more up for it. They were like, shit, this is a big game. Maybe it's because we were the top team and they were in the championship and they wanted to prove it a bit more. So I hope mentally we thinking, you know, we're going to win this. We have to win this. It's not a case of this and that. You got to win for this badge all the time, whether we're there or not. So for me, as long as our heads are in it, knowing that, you know, this is the biggest game, you've always got to beat City, you've always got to beat Liverpool. As long as we know it's a rivalry and don't need fans there to tell you that what it means, I think we'll go out there and smash City, hopefully. And I'm sure they'll clip it up and say, oh, you said this. Yeah, I said it. But I said we're going to win the title. That's how I say it with my chest. What do you think about the City game?
Well, in terms of the last match, yes, maybe there was a bit of misfortune there with the ball, you know, that we saw across the line, but the assistant referee didn't. And I could be wrong, but I think we also had a penalty shout. I could be wrong, but you know, maybe I'm making things up now. But I think we also, sadly, we had a hand in our downfall. We made mistakes in defence for pretty much all the goals, especially the first one, which was disappointing. So, I don't want to put it down to,
let's talk about the positives.
What
about when you came back? What about when you came back? The positives in it. And what do you think is going to happen this time round?
No, I'm just saying, I don't want to put it. I don't want to put it down to luck, and I don't want to put it down to the referee. We should be good enough to win every single time, no matter what. And in regards to this time, yes, on current form, City haven't started the season well. We have started the season well, other than the blip in the Conti Cup. It is one of those, though, that it's a derby match. Anything can happen. Form, etc., goes out the window. But I would hope, like you said, that they're up for it. That they, first of all, it's a derby match. They should know what it means. But also, it's a big chance to cement our place within that top three. And because we know that City will get stronger as the season goes on, because they're a quality team. And we need to make sure that we have as much distance between us and them as possible. And we want to keep close to the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal. And we want to, again, you said we're going to go for the title. I'm kind of reserved. But, if we are going to go for the title, we need to make sure that we win our matches, and that's it. So how will it go? Ooh, I wouldn't like to say. I saw John say 3-1 to United. If we're firing on cylinders, yeah, we'll win. But we need to make sure that we're up for it. No silly mistakes.
Michael's in the chat a lot. Thanks for getting involved, Michael. He's saying Alessia Russo, good form, golden boot. For me, I think he's too far behind. I think Miedemar scores goals like 6 against Bristol and all this kind of goals. Let's hope she doesn't score against those when we play them. But for me, I think it's too far for Alessia this season anyway. I mean, she didn't even come in for the Chelsea, so she didn't even get to play the first game. Obviously, second game, finding her feet, only did half an hour. She's been on the wing for one game. Obviously, played Brighton, scored, got a penalty. People say that's an assist. But she got 2 the other day. Potentially could have been more. I think for Alessia, I don't think it's going to be golden boot, but I think she'll be up there, top goal, 10 plus.
Yeah, I've been impressed with her so far. It's good. We've known for the last couple of seasons how good Leah's delivery can be from the left wing. And I know we've said that Leah hasn't started the season that well, but it's good to see finally a striker get on one of her crosses, and even 2 against West Ham. So, she looks like a far more a far calmer, more clinical finisher than what we've been used to. Kristen, I think she, her goal, I think, was fantastic against West Ham. I would like to see, I think there's a bit of ring rust still with her. But hopefully she comes on as well. And I think that potentially the team is full of goals this season. And yeah, I agree. Russo's got a good chance of being our top scorer this season. But I've been impressed really especially with her and with Tobin. They've been, really, really good so far. They've done exactly what we wanted, basically.
Yeah, and Reaper's come in. Thank you. Hope you're all right. Just get in the chat, guys. Put in the comments, like, share, subscribe. It's usually John on here as well who's running it, but I'm just doing it ad hoc tonight, and I saw John before. I'm glad he could join us. But in terms of signings, I mean, John Fry's here saying Russo's the signing of the season so far. I think so, to be honest. I think she's, well, John Foster, player of the month for us by far. For me as well, we're going to go back onto the Fab Five. Sorry, John Foster, that we just dotting around. A signing that we haven't seen. One of the final one that we're going to talk about, Fuso. She did an interview the other day in German because she's German player. And she's talking about her injuries. She got an injury just before the start of the season, 8-week injury, muscle tear. Then she came back into training, got a ligament damage, another 8 weeks. So it's like about 16 weeks altogether. She'll be out. She has played some preseason games where they played her as a 10. She says that she's a 10 more. She says she likes to run in behind, but mainly her thing is assisting and helping the team. Obviously, she wants to come on, score goals. She says that she's not expecting a lot this season, just wants to be fit. And then when she gets her minutes, she wants to take advantage of it. What's your thoughts on Fuso? I know we've not seen her, so I know you can't say a lot, but just from hearing her talk and saying what her goals are, and the fact that she's been injured, it's not great, but she's a bright prospect. They talk highly of her in Germany. What's your thoughts on potentially her coming in and being that, like Chicharito, the way he came in and no one knew anything about him, but he just set the world on fire. So what do you think about her?
Well, like you said, I've not really seen anything from her. In terms of her desire to get onto the pitch, brilliant. It's unfortunate, when things like that happen in terms of injuries. But obviously, I hope that she's back as soon as possible, because again, it's another player that, like you said, she is someone that we don't really know that much about, and sometimes that unknown factor, it can add something at a certain moment in time. She can come on, she can maybe change things. So I'm hoping for the best with her. I hope that she gets back fit as soon as possible, and that we can hopefully see something from her. And John saying maybe she will come on gradually. I hope so. And obviously wish her all the best. Terrible to think that she's just come into the team and immediately had like 2 in quick succession rather major injuries, relatively speaking. Hope for the best. Hope she's back as soon as possible and that we can see what she's capable of.
Hello, Melvin. Marvin? Sorry, I can't say your name. But before we wrap it up, and I think we've talked a bit. Michael, again, Everton, commendable form, similar to ours. What do we think the outcome? They're level on points, so obviously they got beat by City in the Conti Cup. It's our next game for the girls coming up. What do you think about that game coming up?
Well, we've got to go and win to have any kind of chance of progressing. So, one job, and we need to do it. And I think, with all due respect to Everton's start, and that they have started well, I don't know if they've been as good as the table suggests. They did drop points. I know, slight controversy, but I think that they did drop points against Brighton. We beat Brighton. We've had the measure of them in all the matches we've played so far, though over time they've gotten slightly closer. We need to do the job. John saying 0 at least. John on the positive side of things, along with you, Nat. I just want to get a win there. Don't really care how much. I know that goal difference and all that could matter, but first of all, let's make sure that we get the win, because we need it. We need it to have any chance of making it through.
Yeah, and John's saying this February player for next season, potentially, now with her injuries. But John Foster saying a point that I was just thinking, toughest Everton team we've played yet, so potentially we might not see a 3-0 FC like we have done against them. I mean, just before lockdown, the last game that we played, Leah was the star in it. When Leah came off, and even when Tooney came off, it sort of changed. It went in their favour. We conceded 2 sloppy goals, in my opinion, when we were just cruising. But obviously, it just shows the dangers that they've got. They've got a French striker now who's absolutely amazing, banging in goals left, right, and centre. And I think, it could be difficult for us with the way that they're going, Everton. John saying, but we'll do that in a minute, John. But what do you think? Do you think of what happened last game? They have got the cup final, which John Fry's just saying that could affect them. Think it'll be a benefit for us, the fact that they're playing this weekend and we're not?
Potentially. I'm hoping that it goes 120 minutes and penalties, if that's a thing. And I hope that City run them ragged. I hope that they all get tired and, that they struggle to field a team against us. Sorry, Everton and City. Haha.
Well, Jack, where can people find you on the socials, Instagram, YouTube, anything? They wanted to follow you and speak about the girls.
At Ripper48 on Instagram or Twitter, Jack Adam Morris on Facebook. And yeah, thank you very much for having me. And let's make sure we win all the games. And let's go for the treble. Woo!
And obviously, my Twitter's there. And obviously, just a Barmy Army. Keep following me and John. We're going to keep doing these every Thursday. We've got a good guest on next week. Not that Jack got a good social journalist kind of thing, so that should be good. And just, if there's anything you want us to talk about when it comes to the girls, we can help you out and just see how it goes. But thanks, guys. Everyone watching today. I know it's not probably the highest standard you used to, but I appreciate it. Right, see you soon.